So once you have set the goals and you've seen what could be the problems in that, you come to the next one, that is the plan design and implementation. Here again with the prospect you're going to sit, and suppose it's a prospect who is currently 80% in debt and 20% in equity. He's got adequate money, but the asset allocation is 80-20, and you find his goals are very realistic provided he goes to something like 50-50 or say 60% in equity and 40% in debt. Getting the client to change, you're hit by the prospect theory, because he will say, no, I'm comfortable with this, this is what I have done so far, and etc. Now you are asking this person to move from debt to equity at a time when he is bombarded by people telling him market is overpriced, market is very high, market is likely to fall. He is being bombarded on one side saying, yes, you need to do asset allocation, yes, that he knows, but he is now scared because he is also hearing these stories that the market is high. When you hear that the market is high, your second assumption is market will fall. You don't think if market is high, it can go higher. That is not available. You have this prospect theory that what I have done so far has worked for me. I am so much in debt, and this is good quality debt. I am in nice companies which are giving me 9.5%, 10% yield. It's again your bias saying this company has not defaulted. You are not saying this company won't default, but you are stuck with that kind of image. Now to break that and do your reallocation is not going to be very easy. It's not going to be very easy for the financial planner if he's sitting with the client and the client has got these huge biases. It's going to take him time, or it's going to take her time. She's going to say, why should I do it? Why should I take more risk? Because all over the world she has been bombarded by saying equity is risky, equity is risky, equity is risky. People don't understand that debt is very risky in the long run, equity is risky in the short run. Debt is very risky because if it does not match inflation, like for keeping your money in savings bank account, will absolutely protect it and completely screw it in terms of post-inflation, post-tax return, right? So you have to be careful about that. So, and then the immediacy bias. Immediacy bias is, oh, I'm going to get money at 6% or 6.5% or 7% for my housing needs, and my equity is growing at 18-20%. So it's perfectly fine because I have a home loan account that I withdraw more money from there and put that money also into equities. Or even worse, people saying, oh, I've got some 72 lakhs or 80 lakhs lying in my provident fund, can I pull that out and put it here? Or the children taking charge and telling the parents, look, see what kind of fantastic returns I have got, so can we put your PF money into this? The father may not be prepared at all for this. So right, so you have to worry about this prospect theory and the heuristics of immediacy. What has happened? The recency effect. What has happened? Equity has done well, so put all your money in equity. What has happened? Interest rates have gone down, so what is the hurry in repaying a housing loan? All perfectly correct if the market continues as it is. But market could change, interest rate could go up, and the equity market could come down. Then you'd feel, oh, I wish I had sold some equity and repaid the loan. After 3 years, you may find that equity market has actually given 24% return CAGR even from these high levels, and interest rates have stayed from between 7 to 8. It has not gone up. All these things happen, right? Exactly when you are writing off the equity markets, like 1996 to 2003, nothing happened. So you were working in the mutual fund industry, you just gave up and said, let me go somewhere else. There's nothing happening in this field. And 2003 to 2007, the market boomed. So market is called the great humiliator because of these things, right? So markets do things exactly opposite to what you think will happen. So you have to counter that and tell the client, sit with the client. You've spent a lot of time, maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 hours on the goal setting. Now you have come to the next stage, which is plan design and implementation. You have to fight these biases of immediacy. Immediately what has happened? Or what is going to happen? So let's say from 2023 onwards, we are right now in 2022, right? From 2023, people will start asking, what if Modi doesn't come back? Will Modi come back? What if Modi retires? What if Modi resigns? Who will be the next prime minister? All these questions will start in 2023. And it has nothing to do with your investor of 2023 who is now investing for events which is going to happen maybe in 2053, right? Let us say he's a 30-year-old or she's a 30-year-old girl. She's decided not to get married. So she in 2023, she's just 30 and she's going to retire in 2053. That is her only goal. She has to be worried only about that goal, but she will ask this question, what happens if Modi loses? fantastic. You can get markets may crash and you will be able to buy more, or markets may go up. You never know. You can't guess what the market will do. India shining was great proof. People were sure that Vajpayee himself was very sure that he'll come back. He didn't come back. Markets fell. Market then went up again, saying, oh, now it's okay. UPA will do a good job. Well, all these things happen. Political changes happen, which you should actually be ignoring because it's just noise. Over a 30-year period, you will see 2-3 prime ministers at least, right? Not every prime minister will be able to do 2 terms, 3 terms. So some prime minister may do a much shorter term. I mean, death could cut it short because people come at a reasonably old age. Or it could be just change, election and re-election, or the party might decide to change the candidate, saying, oh, we don't want this candidate, we want this candidate. Any of these things are possible and does not actually affect your investments over a long period of time. But that immediacy effect and what is going to happen, oh, UP election, let us wait for the UP election. So waiting, all these things could happen. So you have to be worried about implementation, the amount of time that you are willing to commit, the money that you are willing to commit to the asset class. Now these things, it's not going to happen in the first meeting. It's going to happen maybe over 4-5 meetings. So this is what happens in the plan design and implementation. Now let us see what is the bias which can happen at monitoring.